Hi people, I'm sitting here with Kookaburra from Antwerp, Belgium. Saw a very great concert here at Ons Nof in Hestel, West Vlaanderen. Can you give some impressions of your concert and also about the organization?
Yeah, it was a really cool show. It was the second time we play here, so really happy to be here again. So it was a really nice show. We played three new songs. Um, it was really cool. So maybe Dimitri can say something about it.
It was especially nice to see how many people were dancing in front of us. It's always nice to see. And it also is always a pleasure to come here in Mats' hometown, Gistel. We kind of grew a special connection with this town, I think.
To make people familiar with you, so before you give a biography of the band, someone can do it. Can you introduce yourselves, first name, instrument, and maybe also shortly mention if you're a songwriter, yes or no?
So hi, I am Mats. I'm the lead vocalist and singer of the band from Kookaburra, and yeah, I write all the songs, and that's it.
Well, he doesn't write all the songs. I also wrote one song. I'm Dimitri. I'm the bass player and the backing vocalist, and I wrote one song that we played tonight.
I am Cedric. I am the lead guitarist. I'm the lead guitarist and the keyboard player in the band. Relatively new to the band. I've been in the band for a year or so. I don't now. I don't write really a lot of the songs. I color them in, if you can say it. Yeah, I color them. Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Joren, and I'm the drummer. I don't write any of the songs. I think I just yeah the drums are all my work or yeah yeah one like
Okay. So, can you give some short biography of the band? How did it started? Maybe you were involved in other bands or projects before.
So me and Joran start at first. We did the same school. Yeah, we did media and entertainment business. It's like we did it in school, and so we started. I searched for a drummer, and he can drum, so that's basically it. And Dimitri, our bassist, I went to a concert and I saw him there. Like it's in Antwerp, like a very small organization, but it's Hot Humanas, and they do a lot of concerts there. And then I meet Dimitri there, so I say hi, can you play bass? And he say, hi, I can play bass, man.
Basically,
So that was the first start, and then after 2 years, Cedric joined us because our sound was not there yet. So we need like someone who can play guitar, percussions, and keys. So Cedric was our yeah good guy for it, and he yeah. So Yor knows him because he was already with him in a band, and yeah, that's it. That's our
that's the story of our band, yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's like, and now we sit here, yeah. All right.
Well, I'm very lucky today because both Buffer State and you were on my to see list since quite a time because I'm following this organization you just mentioned. I can't repeat the name, but I know it. Um, I think you also played for Kinky Star. I'm not quite sure, but I think so. I also saw your name appearing there on their flyers. Um, Now, some more difficult question. Can you give influences of the band directly, like other bands that you consider as similar or influence to your sound, and also indirect influences of the band? Can something be that happened to you that influenced you to write a song, or like a movie or whatever?
I think the most important direct influences to the band are the pioneers of the Belgian garage scene. So bands like Moor, bands like Double Veterans, the Glucks, like you've mentioned before. And indirectly, I think we all grew up listening to grunge when we were teenagers, maybe going against the mainstream. And I think the grunge influence is also it's also there when we write the songs.
Yeah, like um, for me, it's a lot of, yeah, like Dimitri said, Belgian garage rock bands, like Ponecamp, where Dimitri plays in. A lot of new stuff. O'Grady is like a real cool band now in Antwerp. Prolab, like More is like one of my main influence from the start, because they had a lot of energy, and I thought maybe we can do something like that, but then in our own way. Yeah, so a lot of bands are coming through. Like now you have in Bruges, Budget Trash. They are really coming up, like with their cool sound. So yeah, lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Obviously, we should also mention the OCs and Die Seagull, King Gizzard, and the Lizard Wizard, like the
big names.
yeah, like almost the cliche names nowadays. But obviously, they had a huge influence on all of us and on basically every garage band that existed in the past 10 years.
I think it's most importantly it's like four very different musicians that come together and that form Kookaburra. Like they're the garage rockers. There's the punk rocker, I think. And yeah, I'm also kind of a punk rocker, I guess. And it's like a little chemistry going on that works, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
Yeah, I think it's quite an interesting blend you have. Like I mentioned, some mix for me between the Glucks and doom metal, but doom metal not as doom dead, but I mean like the classical Black Sabbath staccato riffs. I hear it a bit in your sound, so correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my impression. Maybe indirect influences. Is this possible you can give, or anything that's both on the music or just on the songwriting, or on both?
I would definitely just say Nirvana. It's also a cliche, but the sound, the riffs. You mentioned metal, but I have to admit to myself I don't really listen to metal, and I don't think I'm really influenced by metal. Maybe very indirectly, but yeah, just grunge basically. Yeah, I listened to grunge a lot when I was young.
So now we are working on our first album, and yeah, what influenced me is like Reservoir Dogs is a movie, and I really like it a lot because like the chemistry is like the same like us. It's like sort of dangerous but not dangerous, and laughing all the time. So I really like that film. So that's a big influence for me for the new album that's coming up, hopefully in 2020. So yeah, for me that's it's all the same.
If we're talking about Tarantino, surf rock, also especially in our new songs, I think surf rock is also very apparent, and that's an indirect influence. We don't try to sound like surf rock, but we always end up doing so.
Cool. Now I come to your name. Your name is quite difficult. Can you explain it? What's the meaning of it? And how did you choose it? And who chose it?
So the name come from me. Kookaburra is like an Australian bird, but it's also the second EP I think from Red Zebra. It's like the first punk band I ever heard. So it was like a big inspiration for me then when I was 12 or 13, I don't know, but something like that. So yeah, that was, yeah, and like Red Zebra was then like a big influence for me as a punk band. So yeah, it started all like that, and it was really cool because Kookaburra is a bird and it's in Australian. We don't know anything about it, so that's cool.
Well, we know.
It's just a bird that makes a lot of noise and is a plague in New Zealand and Australia, I think. They shoot them there. I don't really know.
It's also a bird which has like a punk haircut, so it's the most punk bird we know.
And it looks cool on a poster from a show.
That's right. Now I come to a question I asked everybody on my YouTube channel. Suppose you're on a desert island, you don't have internet, no phones, no television, no radio. You only have a record player on batteries because you're on an island, or a CD player. Which 3 albums would you listen to, each one of you? So, who's starting with this difficult one?
I think This Old Dog from Mac DeMarco, Currents from Tame Impala, and Dark Side of the Moon from Pink Floyd. It's all a kind of psychedelic rock, but I like psychedelic rock, so.
For me, it's Bloodsugar Sex Magic from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dark Side of the Moon from Pink Floyd, and Shadows Collide with People by John Frusciante. Yeah.
I would go for Stone Roses by the Stone Roses, The Queen is Dead by the Smiths, and more songs about buildings and food of Talking Heads.
And I go also for Currents from Tame Impala. Some kind of album from the OCs, but I always forget the name. But some album from the OCs, and how does it call it? From Double Veterans, Space Acrophysim, and
Something like that.
yeah, something like that. But I'm not good at albums names, so but something from Double Veterans. Yeah, that would be cool.
Cool. I think that's all for today. Thank you very much for giving us the interview. See you soon and have great going back to you. Bye bye.